What's happening, guys? It's your old pal Kurt with Team Absolute Awesome, and today we're going to be showing off a very, very fun deck. So this is Toon's post-Toon Chaos, and I got it as competitive as I could without just absolutely breaking the bank with like lightning storms, that kind of stuff. But as we go through, I'll kind of explain card choices and what everything does. So we're starting off with Triple Leader of Millions. So this deck, you always want to be going second, because if you go first, there's just not a lot that the deck can really do, and a lot of your cards are just kind of better geared for going second and sort of breaking boards. It is really fun, and I would recommend trying it out. So, that being said, we'll continue. Next up, we've got Triple Groju. This is a personal tech that I'm trying in the deck, and I quite like it. It is got great synergy with Eater of Millions and with Extravagance, and it also has really good synergy with Toon Kingdom and Toon Bookmark, which is the reason I ultimately decided to put it in here. Not many people think about it, but even just every one of those banishes helps a lot. And if you can open these two in tandem, that will basically out any two monsters that your opponent might have in for you, like our board, you know. Next up, we're playing Triple Nibiru. There's a couple reasons that I'm playing Nibiru. Reason one is because, obviously, Nibiru just stops combos, but more importantly, this card right here can steal a token, and if that token's big enough, you can just one-shot your opponent with it, and that's hilarious. That's kind of the thing with Toons, is it's a bunch of really cheeky, really funny plays, kind of like how they were in the anime, you know, they're just like, hee. So anyway, on to the next guy. We got double Red Eyes Toon Dragon. This is going to be the first Toon monster of the deck. His effect is, while you control Toon World, he can attack directly if your opponent controls no Toons, and let's be honest, very few people are going to be playing this. The important thing about all of the Toons in this particular list are they do not have the same clauses as the old Toons, that if Toon World is destroyed, they're destroyed. That's really important, but they do get bonus effects while Toon World is up. This particular one, you don't have to have Toon World up. Same with Toon Dark Magician, but with Harpy Lady and with Toon Bls, they both get bonus effects. So you play two of him just to be able to special summon a Toon from your hand, because that is his extra ability. Next up, you play 3 Blackstone a Legend. This specials Toon Red Eyes directly from your deck, and can also be used to recycle them. It's a good play starter. He comes up fairly often. Yeah, what can I say? There's not many normal summons for this deck, so he's just as good as anything else. Usually if it's a choice between him and Groju for like the first turn, I normally will always go for him, just because it's very difficult to break through Toons if you've already got Kingdom established, as to where with Groju, he's susceptible to pretty much everything except for getting beaten over most of the time. Next up, we have Toon Bls. He is another one of the new Toons from Toon Chaos. And basically, his summoning condition is you can special summon him from your hand by tributing Toon monsters whose levels equal 8 or more. I don't think I've ever used that. I typically just summon him off Toon Dark Magician or Toon Page Flip. He's really good, and you play him at 3, but you could play him at 2 and it would probably be fine as well. There's a lot of wiggle room in this deck for teching and just personal preference, really. But his effect is, if you control Toon World, you can target a card on the field and banish it, and he can't attack the turn you activate that effect. And then just like the other Toons, you know, he can't, or actually he might be able to attack the turn he's summoned. Let's see, I'll be normal summoner set must, yeah, he can actually attack the turn he's summoned, so I guess he is a little bit different in that regard. But yeah, if you control Toon World, you can attack directly or banish. So anyway, learn something new every day. Next up is Toon Dark Magician. He can't attack the turn he's summoned, same as Red Eyes. But while you control Toon World, he can attack directly after that. Once per turn, you can discard a Toon card, and you can do one of the following. You can either special summon a Toon from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, or you can add a Toon spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So he's insane, obviously. Like, that's just really good for a couple different reasons. You can either use that to search for any of your spells or traps, or you can use it to special out a BLS from deck and then start banishing. Just really depends on what the situation is, but it's another really good target. Next up, you play triple Toon Harpy Lady. Can't attack turn she summoned. If you control Toon World, she can attack directly, blah blah blah. But more importantly, if you control Toon World, you can also special summon her from your hand. And if you control another Toon, when you do that, you can destroy a spell or trap your opponent controls, but that effect is a hard once per turn. But that's fine. I really just play her because you can special summon multiples, and there's some really cheeky stuff you can do with that, which we'll talk about when we get to the extra deck. Okay, onto the spells. Playing double Comic Hand. This card is like a slightly more restricted, but better in its own way version of Snatch Steal. If you control a Toon World, you can just, take one of your opponent's monsters, and you're playing a lot of ways to access Toon Kingdom, which is treated as Toon World, so it comes up frequently. It's an insanely strong card, as being able to steal stuff has always been strong, and it always will be strong. It treats that monster as a Toon, so it can be protected by Toon Kingdom, but unfortunately if they blow up Comic Hand, then, it will be dying alongside it. You can actually switch up the ratios with these if you want to. I've been going back and forth. On this current build, I've been testing 3 Toon Harpy Lady just because I like her. And like I said, I'll explain why when we get to the extra deck. But yeah, Comic Hand's insane. I just found a lot of hands where I was drawing too many of these, and I wasn't crazy about it. Next up is triple Pot of Extravagance. Like I said, good synergy with Groju. You don't play any other draw power in the deck, and the extra deck is largely irrelevant, to be frank. Occasionally you will make something out of it, but it just doesn't come up very often. So Extravagance is an easy throw in. You play Terraform because your field spell's insane and it's the only way that you can win. You play Toon Bookmark, which is a very, very powerful new search spell that they got in Toon Chaos. It basically says, add Toon World or any card that specifically lists Toon World in as text from your deck to your hand, except itself. And if Toon World on the field would be destroyed, you can banish it from your graveyard instead, and you can only activate 1 Toon Bookmark per turn. So, essentially, this card searches every single card in your deck except for Blackstone, Groju, Eater of Millions, and Pot of Extravagance. But, yeah, I mean, other than that... Oh, and Toon Table. Funny enough, you actually can't search Toon Table of Contents with Toon Bookmark. That's probably irrelevant, but I mean, I guess it could come up. But you can search that with Toon Table. We'll get that in a minute. But yeah, so it protects your kingdom built in, and it searches almost every single card in your deck, and that's huge in and of itself. So, on to the next card, we have Triple Toon Kingdom. I've mentioned it quite a few times. This is the best card in the deck. This is the only reason the deck works at all. It's a field spell. When you activate it, you banish 3 cards from your top of your deck face down. Again, that synergizes with your Eater of Millions and your Groju. And its name becomes Toon World while it's in the field zone. Your opponent cannot target Toons with card effects, and if a Toon would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish the top card of your down. The top card of your down. You can banish the top card of your deck face down instead. I mean, yeah, this card has always been strong with Toons. I know it's a sin to reference Duel Links when talking about the TCG, but this card made Toons tier 1, like a hard tier 1 on Duel Links for a little while, and we have 3 copies of it here. It's very accessible through multiple means. I mean, you play 3 of it, you play Terraforming, you play Toon Bookmark, and you play Toon Table of Contents. That's like 10 copies, basically, that you have access to. So that's... you would still try to find more ways to access this if you could, but it's fine. Anyway, next card, Toon Page Flip. If you control Toon World, you reveal 3 Toon monsters from your deck with different names. Your opponent randomly picks 1 for you to special summon, ignores the summoning conditions, and summons it. Again, just phenomenal support. If if there was any way to make Toons viable, I will give Konami credit. They really gave it the good old-fashioned college try with this set. Like, all of the support's fantastic. And lastly, we have Toon Table of Contents, which is, outside of Toon Kingdom, probably the best card in the deck. Like, these three right here are just all fantastic cards, and if you open Toon Table and Toon Bookmark in the same hand, it's always insane. But even if you just open Toon Table, it's still really good, because you can get Toon Bookmark, and then from there you're normally off to the races. But you just add a Toon card from your deck to your hand, so it searches, again, basically everything except for Comic Hand, and you can search Comic Hand with Toon Bookmark because it specifically lists Toon World. So that's all we have for the main deck. On to the side deck. I am playing one Scythe alongside Triple Sanctum. This is for if you have to go first, you don't just get blown out by extra deck monsters and lose. It's not the best, but it works. We play Triple Sphere mode. The deck doesn't really need its normal summon, and a lot of the times you will not open a normal summon. So going into Game 2/Game 3 against decks that like to build up a beefy board like Adamantipator, this is a very easy side-in that can just completely bust through their board without even trying. One Toon Cyber Dragon. I'm only playing one because you can search it, and it gives you access to Mega Fleet and Fortress Dragon, Fortress Dragon being for Orcust and Mega Fleet being for whatever, really. Triple Dark Ruler no more. I don't think I need to explain this one. We already went over Sanctum. Evenly matched. Again, very strong against Eldritch, helps you break through boards. You've got a lot of ways to bait negations in this deck, just in the main alone. So when you side an evenly matched, if you draw it against Eldritch, most of the time, it's going to resolve. And then the last card is one Toon Briefcase. When your opponent summons a monster while you control a Toon, you shuffle that monster into the deck. Again, it's a really simple card. You can actually side this going first or second, because normally if you're going second, you're not going to be OTKing unless you have the Nibiru Comic Hand combo and your opponent was playing a combo deck. But it can be very, very good if you know like a good choke point on the deck and you can Toon Briefcase at the right time. You can usually increase your chances of winning. I'm not going to say that you can seal the game, but it helps. So onto the extra deck. Extra deck is going to be very, very open to interpretation. This has just worked well for me, but for the most part, I end up banishing it all between Eater of Millions and Extravagance. So I'm playing 2 Chimera Tech and 2 Mega Fleet, just in case I banish one off Extravagance after I've sided into Toon Cyber Dragon. You know, I'll have something. One Dweller. I was initially playing Mermaid, so it had the possibility of gaining 500 attack, but it's just a good rank 4. I'm playing Double Dingirasu. If you can get 2 Toon BLSs on field, it's actually insane to be able to banish 2 cards and then make a Dingirasu, send a card to grave, and then attack directly for 26 normally at that point. And you can also use it to save your Toon Kingdom if it would die, which is relevant. Exciting Knight, again, good generic rank 4, you could probably play whatever here. One of the cards that does actually matter, and is basically the only thing I ever really go into, except for this guy, we'll talk about him in a minute, is Big Eye. You can use 2 Red Eyes, or Red Eyes on Dark Magician, or 2 Dark Magicians to make this guy, and it essentially gives you 2 more versions of Comic Hand, just not quite as good, but at the same time, typically free, and that's important in its own right. Triple Dugares is the next card. I'm playing 3 because I really want to always have access to 1, and the reason why is because if you can manage to either steal a level 4 and get a Toon Harpy in play, or just get 2 Toon Harpies in play and have Gren Maju, after you've resolved enough to get, like, even 9 banished is insane, because you can make Dugares, double the Gren Maju's attack, and he usually becomes an insanely high number. And depending on what you open, you can just end the game right there a lot of the times. But kind of gimmicky, but this entire deck's gimmick is being gimmicky, so I think it's fine. I'm only playing 2 Link monsters just because, again, you could play as many as you want realistically, but I'm playing 2 of the best ones, which are Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Unicorn. Everybody knows what they do, I'm not going to bother explaining them. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave us a like or a comment, and if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe. This has been Kurt giving you my take on the new Toon deck. I really hope you guys liked it. I've been having so much fun with this deck, but yeah, just let us know. Y'all have a good night.